Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Culture Healing. I am here with another review. I see that you guys liked the last review. That's fantastic. So, I'm here with another review, and this review is about um, sex in a prolonged marriage. And these are two people that I showed this video was popular a few months back, and I'm sure you guys are familiar with it. But we'll watch it together and I'll give my views on it. I find it to be extremely interesting and controversial at the point when it came out. So we'll watch it and get to it. So let me
I am
turn
not
up
allowed, based on our marriage
and
laws
start.
and the contract we signed with each other,
Right.
to have sex with anybody else.
Right.
So these urges that come,
Mm-hmm.
I have to share them with the one person I decide to spend the rest of my life with.
Right.
So that brings me back to my soundbite,
Okay.
right? I don't understand, and this is what we can discuss
Mm-hmm.
as a woman, because I don't want to say it's a man versus woman thing, but a lot of women do complain, oh, my husband's always on me. Why is he always on me?
Mm-hmm.
If sex is going to be a chore for you that you don't really want to do, why do women constantly push monogamy on men? If you know that you don't want to have to deal with him all the time just wanting you,
Mm-hmm.
why do you push monogamy on men?
Well, who's to say I pushed anything on anybody? Like,
Well, we
if
know
two
that you pushed
people,
monogamy on me.
I pushed monogamy. I forced you to get married to me.
Time out. I didn't say you forced me to get married, but did you not say to me that you wanted to be engaged
She took that personal. Woo.
and you wanted to be married before you lived with me? You
I
didn't
want.
say
I
that?
want $1 billion. That don't mean I'm gonna get it. I
But
can want
but I'm
something,
asking
but not.
you right now you dodging
Nobody.
the question.
Nobody pressed you to do it. Yes, is that something I wanted? Yes, it was. But
You didn't press me. Are you gonna lie
so
now
you're
to the
gonna
people because
say,
we talking about sex?
Deval,
You're gonna lie
Deval,
now to the people?
Deval. Knowing
Kadeen,
as
you didn't want
strong.
monogamy?
Of course I did.
So then why are you avoiding the question?
That's not avoiding the question. I'm saying, does that mean because I wanted and I requested that you were going to deliver it? Like nobody
This is
pressed
what
you.
happened, right? This is what I've been telling people about the English language. Because he said she forced him on monogamy, she took full offense, right? Instead of just allowing him to really express without figuring out, okay, I know he didn't mean it by that, but this is just the word that he chose to use at this point. Because he said those words, she then took it personal and got into her emotion instead of letting the conversation play out and answering the question and said, well, you shouldn't use force if she wanted to say that, saying maybe we were pushed into it or whatever the case is, but because he used you forced monogamy on me, she's like, wait, I tell you to this, you don't have a mind of your own, blah, 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 and all these different things. So this is how it's gonna go down to a whole different thing, which I'm very interested because I know it's going to go downhill from here. So, words, people, your words, people tend to use words that people experience those words in a different way and take their experience personally. So, she may have an issue with force. And making she think that she's telling you to do this or forcing, which is most of what women have in relationship, where they think that we are forcing a man to do something or whatever the case is, and sometimes men do say so. So then we take that in a sense that, wait, you think I'm telling you to do something, or you think I'm telling you that you must not do this or else, right? So I think that's where this little push and pull come from here.
For that,
Time out. You just said you wanted it and requested it. Do you not hear yourself?
I can make a request. Is the request going to be granted?
Am I
That's
not
up to
am I
you,
am I
bro.
not granting you monogamy?
You are granting it to
So
me.
this is my question.
Look
This is
at
my
you
question.
always. Look at your boy. Look at your boy.
This is my question. If you wanted monogamy,
Okay.
why would you want monogamy if sex is a chore for you? That's the question. You're avoiding the
I'm not
question.
avoiding the question, but at first you said women, or in general, me specifically, are pushing monogamy on somebody. Okay, yes, that's something that I wanted, but I didn't press you for it and be like, Deval, I'm gonna hold a gun to
Time
your
out.
head to propose to
So
me.
time out. Do women?
Also,
Okay.
also, let me finish. Also, I don't feel like I was adequately prepared for marriage. And I've said that before, because if I knew that marriage and monogamy was going to involve me trying to meet you where you were at sexually for years to come, then I probably would have reevaluated it if I wanted to be monogamous anyway.
So that's fair, but we're not even talking about marriage. Let's even talk about dating, right?
Okay.
Two people are dating. Typically in society, who asks for exclusivity first, a woman or a man?
I would say a woman.
Thank you. That was my whole point. See, you were going all over the place. If women typically ask for exclusivity first, then when they get exclusivity, say, he always on me, he always want to have sex. Why are we asking men for exclusivity if we do not want to participate in sex at the same level as men? We have to think about what that does to a man.
Here's the thing. I am actually going to be doing a course and class on this. The way that we have been taught about sex, it's really boring and it does not entice women, period. After a while of having sex with a certain person and of the same thing that we're doing all the time, it tends to get really boring because men are stimulated in terms of their eyesight or whatever the case is. They are easily turned on, basically, right? For a woman, you just can't say let's have sex and she's all wet and ready to go. It's a mental thing, it's a foreplay thing, and this is where our society does not have patience with the foreplay to please a woman. He doesn't give her the you look sexy, or he come up to her being all alpha male or whatever the case is and talk her through it and kiss her and make love to her mind by speaking to her, telling her things, and then touching her, all of those different things and going through there. If you are a man that does that most of the time in a relationship, really speak to her in mind and spirit, she will want to participate in sex with you. But because it is not that way, it is the full animalistic way where I'm gonna jump on you, I'm gonna eat you, or whatever the case is, get you wet, and then go up in there, jump on you, and ram, all this dramatic shit. Women don't like that. It tends to feel like we are animals and you're just there trying to get it. There is not much of anything to anticipate, much as if they have kids afterwards. She still have that mental thing where she have to take care of the kids, still have to work, whatever the case is. And the way our men are brought up, they're not participating much in that spectrum of the world. The woman is left alone. So with that, she doesn't want to be that. And when you are, for him, with his point in terms of you just dating and they don't have kids already, you have to make it exciting as a man, and as a female you have to make it exciting. We don't make sex exciting anymore. We just rush into it because I want to get into there, and that is about it. So there is nothing to really I had relationships where after the first few months it wear off and I'm like, why you want to have sex? It's not that we saying we don't want to have sex with you, is that we just realize that it's boring as hell, but we think this is all it is, and we just participate because you just, come on, do your thing, come on back. There's no extra foreplay. She foreplay for you. You know what I mean? So we have to reteach the basis of sex for it to be enjoyable for both parties, especially the female. She is the one that has a foreign object going into her vagina and touching things up in there that sometimes hurt. You are just pushing your shit in. Some men say yes, sometimes it's dry, it's sore, whatever the case is. So then find a way to express that and to make it more enjoyable. Men don't know or the art of the mental foreplay before the physical foreplay. So I'm doing a class on that. Let's continue.
I don't think that conversation is being had.
Okay, I agree. And that part I agree with. Yes, that women are typically the ones that will ask for the exclusivity. I get that. Yes. But what I'm saying is, me as a woman, I don't think that I was necessarily prepared or in the mindset to know that. It's almost like once you get into it, then you're like, oh shoot, like this is what I'm going to have to keep up with.
I get that.
Us speaking as 36-year-old people know that now. Had I known that at 26,
I get that.
I would have to contend with that. Even in the dating realm, then it might have been something I would have reevaluated.
So now let's go back to what you asked me. You said to me you never pressured me to get married. In 2007, we were living together, right? You said you no longer wanted to live up with me and shack up with me because you wanted to be my wife, not my girlfriend.
Right, because I wanted to know where
that
the relationship was going.
That don't sound like pressure to you?
It sounds like me voicing where I see my life going. It sounds like me saying this is what I would like. You can decide to meet me there. If not, we can reevaluate what exactly we're doing.
Okay. Additionally,
would I call it pressure per se? Not necessarily pressure.
It is pressure. But you don't want to say it's pressure. What about being engaged?
You might have felt pressure.
Why is it pressure? I would like for somebody to comment and tell me why is it pressure? Because she decided to state what she expected and this is where I want to go. I'm getting older, whatever the case is, and I want to be able to accomplish these things. Okay, this is what she want to do. You as a male, if it's so that you were not ready to do so, say I am not ready to do so. So what? You lose the relationship. There are many other relationships out there. If you're not ready, do not force yourself or allow yourself to go into something that you're not mentally ready for, because then you become this, or you become what's the word? What is the word? It is our word. Gosh darn it, I forgot. Resentful. You become resentful because you feel you had to step up to what it is that she wanted, and you weren't ready for it. If you aren't ready for it, say that you aren't ready. Whereas you are true to yourself and you are true to her. And then if you do say that, then you know where it is. If she decided that she's gonna bounce, she didn't really want you. She wanted the thing that she wanted, right? If she decided, you know what, all right, no problem, I see what you're saying, we're not ready for this, whatever the case is, let's go through the motion and continue this on. If it's so set down the road, you feel like this is going to work out, it's going to work out. People tend to be in a relationship where they think, I have to accomplish something for this relationship or go somewhere with this, instead of just going with the journey. We don't go with the journey anymore. We're trying to survival. This is what I call the survival relationship. We are all in the survival relationship. We're going to accomplish something. We're going to go with something instead of trying to grow together, understand together, all of those different things. So that's basically, he became resentful.
Sure.
What about
There was
being
no pressure
engaged?
behind it.
I said, we don't got to rush to get married. You said, I don't want to be engaged longer than a year. Is that not pressure?
That's me voicing my opinion about it.
Sounds like pressure to me. So you say you want to be engaged, I get engaged. You say you want to be married within a year. We do that. We get married, then you make it seem like sex is...
That is not, you didn't have to do that. You didn't have to get married to her. She said, well, I want to walk down the street and jump off a rock. You're going to jump off a rock? No, you're not. You wanted the female. You think you needed to do the things that she wanted to do because she wanted to do. But what about you? Were you ready for these things? This is what I mean. You're going to become resentful because you didn't want these things. You were afraid of losing this because maybe you thought you didn't have any other option. This is where we stick in a relationship because we think we don't have possibilities and options out there. So we're going to stick to what we have. In the long run, it does damage not only to yourself, but it does damage to that person and the thing that you are trying to build together. We have to stop thinking there are not other possibilities. You thinking there are not other possibilities, then you create that dynamic of not having other possibilities. Remember, what you vibrate at, what you speak is what you are creating in your realm. So if you know that at the end of the day, I came into this relationship is just a tree to teach me certain things. So therefore, when I reach my root, I will be able to know what to do in my root. Most of the time when we go into relationships and friendship, it is not to stick in that friendship and relationship. It is to learn something through life. It is to be able to evolve and learn from experience and then move on to something different. He didn't get the move on aspect of it. He got the, she want this, I'm gonna do this quick because, yeah, but what about what you wanted at the same time? Were you even ready for those things?
Why do you get upset when we're trying to be what you want us to be? You don't want me to be with no one else, right? Right? I'm asking. This is a serious question.
Yes, absolutely.
You don't want me to be with no one else.
Absolutely.
So if I decide that all this testosterone I have, I want to give to you, why is this so overwhelming now? This is what you asked for.
Again, 26 and 27-year-old Kadeen was like, okay, here's the natural succession of life. You graduate, you're working, you meet somebody, you guys are dating. You want children.
Yes.
I want children.
Yes.
We don't want to wait too long or too late to have children.
Yes.
Though now a lot of people are waiting until their 30s to have
Yes.
children.
And I understand why.
And we at that time felt like, well, we're doing everything in this natural succession that the forces that be have given us this timeline. However, I did not realize that after having children after, career changes, all of the turbulences that we've been through in life, that was going to have a direct effect on my sex drive. And,
That's fair.
And me not knowing that, if I knew it then, I probably would have rethought, what I was going to do when it came to marriage and monogamy.
And that is fair. And this is why I like to have this discussion. And I think we should have this discussion because people look at us and say, oh, relationship goals, right? Marriage goals. They don't know what is being discussed behind closed doors, right? So, for example, one of the things that I have deduced through being married to you for a long period of time is this, and this is not about a woman thing. This is about me and you. I learned that you were never taught what it entails to be with someone in a monogamous relationship. The same way I was never taught that.
Right.
So what happens is that we both have expectations of what we think it's going to be like.
Of course.
And then the minute it's not like that, we start to project our issues that we have with that on each other. So you get mad at me and I get mad at you. So the problem is not so much the reality of what happens, is that we all have this ideal of what it's supposed to be like. And I'm going to give you an example. As a man, right, in my from 18 to 22, we had sex routinely, like all the time.
Yes.
That was it, right? Once we moved into together and we were living together in our own house in Michigan, sex started to slow down. This was before kids. This was before marriage. This was before you was working. This was before any stresses, period.
Right.
This was just like sex just started to slow down.
Right.
And
but also, too, 18 to 22 was like college. It was my first time out of my parents' house.
Right.
We were living in this utopia that was college life. And also, too, what was the other thing that I was going to say? So distance. We had distance.
Yes, we had distance.
So there was time for us to like miss each other and be like,
absolutely.
oh, I can't wait to see you again. And when we do
That's
see
what
each
I was
other,
getting to.
yeah, okay. Sorry.
So once we started to move in together
Right.
and you see the same person every single night,
It got boring.
the distance that we had when we were in college and I was traveling and we were doing different things,
Or you lose
that
the-
distance
the
allows time for
aspect of
you
it
to
all.
kind of reboot your sex
Yes.
drive.
Yes.
For me, I don't necessarily have to reboot my sex drive. The minute I see you, I want to have sex. So when we were missing each other, it seemed normal that we had sex all the time. But then when we think about it, we really wasn't having sex all the time because we didn't see each other all the time.
Right.
Then when we moved in together and we see each other every day, every time I want to have sex, I look to you. It became overwhelming. So, and the reason why I say that is because the conversation starts to happen with, why do men fear marriage? Why do men fear marriage? And I'm going to explain this so that everybody can understand this. When you're a young man, and you talk to your friends who are married about getting married, the first thing they do is say, take your time. Right? They don't ever explain why, because men aren't vocal. We don't discuss these things. We're not emotional. All they'll say is,
You should prepare
take your
both
time.
ends.
You got time for
This
that.
is
You
where
sure
all the
you want to do
mistakes
this? And they're like,
happen.
yeah. And they're like, shit gonna change. And then you like, what does that mean? Oh, don't worry about it. Shit gonna change. So no one really tells you as a man neither what exactly is going to change and how it's going to change and why it's changing. But I've learned over years why it's changed and how it's changed. So as a man, you start to realize, like, you know what? We are not just wired differently mentally. Physically, we are wired differently. She can't take everything that you want to give her all the time. But since no one tells you that, you just expect that this woman who wants me to be loyal to her, monogamous to her, is going to want to have sex every time I want to have sex. And it's not until you move in with a woman and you live with her all the time do you realize that she can't do that. You see what I'm saying? So not only are women not being taught what it's like to be in a monogamous relationship, young men are not being taught what it's like to be in a monogamous relationship. You understand what I'm saying?
No, I understand completely.
Here's the thing about this. I don't have kids as yet, right? But I was pregnant. From when I was young to now, sex changed for me in a dramatic way. And you guys know my stories, from me being sexually molested to me having my miscarriages or whatever the case is. And from how I was introduced to it to how it is that then I start to have normal relationships, it was the same old thing. There wasn't anything new. There was no mind stimulating. There wasn't anything. And I figured that's what sex was about. Eventually, I got really bored of it. And I realized that sex that we have been taught from Pornhub and just all over the place are baseless. It doesn't do anything. You having sex with somebody, you're not speaking to them. You're not saying anything to them. You're not touching. You're just doing all of that there. And then you're done. You come and then everybody gone to sleep. There is no connection. Female like to talk. female like connection. So with that, we are going to lose the connection to you, because at the end of the day, it's you sitting eating the same food every single day at the same time, or maybe not, but it's the same thing. There is no excitement, there is nothing to look forward to but the same thing. So as much as men have an issue with wanting a lot of sex in relationship, women have the same issues as well, because we are having sex with the same thing over and over, doing the same thing all the time. There is no change, but men want change from women, but we don't express that. We ourselves think that things can change as well, right? So I think we should teach both ends to be vocal about the things that they want in their sexual relationship, so people can be able to, if it's so that you want to make it work, you make those things work. But also, we are so focused on the sexual part of the relationship that we forget to be mentally stimulating in general of the relationship. Some of us don't even know how to have a simple conversation without quarreling, or some of us don't even know how to coexist outside of the bedroom. So because those things are missing, we try to then make up for sex, which we don't even know how to do it properly, right? So someone said to me a few months back that we use each other as masturbation tool. That's exactly what we do. We want sex, somebody turn over here and do that, and we jerk, somebody come, maybe two come or one come for the woman, and then that's it, because you think she came. It's still baseless. She's still missing something. He's still missing something. This is why people cheat. This is why other people, because here it's empty. There is nothing there. So you're going to always have that, especially when you're in religion, when they tell you not to be perverted with your sex or whatever. So you're just going to have sex and that's it. And that's how it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to touch your woman this way or touch her, because you're not supposed to involve in the perversion of it. Sex is natural. Animals have sex. Nature is about sex. The sun and the earth is about sex, if you want to put it that way. This is what life is about. But we have been taught the wrong way to do it. We don't know how to stimulate each other mentally. Some people have experience where they sit down and talk with a partner or speak with somebody, and they can sit down and mentally or just verbally have sex with each other. So when you really touch each other, it's like wow, this is amazing. You're wet and he's hard, just from verbal foreplay. They don't do verbal foreplay anymore. They just do the physical foreplay, and they don't know how to do the physical foreplay. People think I'm gonna suck some titties or something, and that's it. You're missing the whole aspect of it. So this is why people cheat. This is why people think there is more to certain relationship. We have been taught wrong how to do these things.
Because I experienced the same thing, and that's why I'm grateful for platforms like this, or just our generation of people who are speaking up and speaking out and speaking to each other about these things, because then maybe people will make more educated decisions about whether or not they do want to be married, or they do want to be in a monogamous relationship, or what actually is involved in that. And the crazy thing about marriage is that one of the things you always hear is like, you got to compromise, but like, what happens when one party feels like they're compromising more than the other, or one person feels like they're sacrificing more than the other? Then that becomes an issue, because a lot of times we try to meet each other halfway, but you still feel like you're ended up with the short end of the stick. And it just may be too, because you literally have a bigger sex drive than me. And for me, it just takes way more to get me to a point sometimes where I'm even willing to do that. Like, back to your story, it was like, damn, I know I promised him. I promised him some ass tonight.
Promised me.
And I was like, damn, I can't not do this. But
so it becomes a chore.
Like, I really just want to wash my face and go to sleep, but I don't want to disappoint him. So there, I felt like, what? Let me try to do something to genuinely get myself in the mood, or with some assistance.
So this is what she did, y'all.
See what I mean? Why does she have to get herself in the mood? Hey honey, I come in home and have sex. She must automatically be ready. What in the hell? That's what I mean. He coming off, I have sex, so now I'm gonna have to get myself in the mood, get horny, remember some shit, mentally try to visualize him looking sexy or whatever to get myself. It doesn't work that way. You come home and you want to have sex. You see your woman, you look at her a certain way, you touch her, you speak to her, you whisper to her something, get her there mentally so she can get there. You don't know what it is he or she had on that day. She might have had to run with the kids, deal with the house, whatever the case is, and all of a sudden you come home. Sex is exhausting. Okay, you guys come once and you do certain things. We come like a million at one time at the end of the day. So if it is that is not worth it, and it's not worth certain things, and she have to then build her mind, that doesn't say much for what he is doing or what she may be doing. We shouldn't look at sex as a chore. It should be something enjoyable, but we don't know how to do that enjoyable anymore, or we've never known how to do it.
This is what she did, the ponytail. This is what she felt like. Now here's another thing too, and let's be fair. I'm willing to compromise, right?
Yes,
Am I not?
you are willing to
We don't
compromise.
have sex every day. We don't have sex in college. We used to have
don't.
sex 2 times a day. You know, we see each other. We was like rabbits,
Son.
right? I compromise, and I even said to you, I'm not gonna push for when I want to have sex. I'm gonna allow you to get back in the mood, and then when you come to me to have sex, because I want the sex to be enjoyable.
Facts, but it'd be a problem when me having to reset my sex clock be longer than you expect it to be.
No, listen.
And then that'd be a problem.
What I have figured out for myself is that marriage to me, because there were points in our marriage and I was like, yo, this is just seems selfish and I don't know if I could exist in this. And then you start to weigh what's important
Right.
to you. You know what I'm saying? Like what's important. Like I said before, you're my best friend and you're a business partner. You and I have not only developed a brand and developed a business model that works for you and I and works for building a legacy for our kids, but we've built a friendship that I think would outlast anything, because when we were broke, especially after the NFL, you and I were still best friends and we still found ways to enjoy life and enjoy each other during our harshest times. No money. We were struggling with our sex life. We had just had a child. We were struggling. But somehow through that, you and I found a way to create a great life. So for me as a married man, it's like, all right, I'm going to have to make some.
Here's the thing about having a kid and then having sex afterwards. Your body changes. Your body adjusts for the kid. It adjusts mentally. You're exhausted. You have to do certain things. You're not as wet as you used to be. Here's the thing. Most of it have to do with our diet. No, that's a whole different conversation, because after I had my last kid, I was dry as well, right? And I wasn't in the mood for shit. I didn't even want to have sex, period. But hell, you gotta have sex, you have a partner, right? But I didn't want to do that. And then after I changed my diet too, I realized that not only do I want to have sex, do I have more energy to do so, I actually am more wetter than I used to be during my 3 kids. So those things change as well. No one have the food conversation to show you how your energy is dimmed. Your kid is pulling from you if it's so that you do have the kid, and you have to look to heal. You don't want to have sex anymore because right now a kid just come out of the vagina. You're insecure about your body. Not only that, after having a kid, let's say your 6 week or 2 months up, is going to be painful. You're still healing in there, so you're gonna be painful. You're kind of going to certain positions. We are afraid to do certain things. After my last kid and my last miscarriage, I didn't want to have sex. I was so scared that I would have gotten pregnant again that I froze up. I didn't want to do anything because I had a fear of being pregnant and losing another kid. All of those mental things, but our partners are not taught how to help us through those things. We have to do it ourselves and still be whole for the person that you're with. So we don't have those type of conversation. There are fears to these things that people do. When you do have a kid, you're not secure in how you look and how you feel and how you may smell and all of those things. Our partners are not educated in that to say, let's ease her into this. Let her go through this. Let me show her that she's still attractive, that she still feels good, nothing changed. We don't do that. We expect we have the kid, we heal, and we go back to having sex, but we don't think about the underlining of those things. This is where our parents and society has failed us. They don't teach you these things.
Adjustments in the things that I want as a man. And like you said, what do I think about my legacy, right? Why do I get married? What do men think of, what's the thought process? I know I wanted a lot of kids. I want boys and girls. I have 3 boys. I would like to have a daughter. That's part of the legacy I want to leave. I want to be able to raise a daughter who's intelligent, who's beautiful, who has a lot of self-worth. I want to be able to give the world a young lady with those type of attributes. And I feel like we collectively can do that. So part of my legacy is not only just doing everything I can for myself or for us, but it's also in growing another productive member of society. And I want to do that to both a young man and a young woman. I have 3 boys and a young daughter. If that means I have to sacrifice other aspects of my life that may not seem perfect in what I expected, then I'm willing to do that. Because then I start to realize what I felt was perfect was only what was fed to me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
And I think
that's
that
fair.
if people would have fed to me the reality of being in a monogamous relationship from young,
Where is the camera guy
I would
going?
have known what it was rather than
Would you have
creating
still done it, or would you been like, I'm
I'm
not
still
gonna be
doing it
doing
now.
Yeah.
I'm still doing it
I
now.
mean,
I
yeah, you
don't
could have bailed, but you didn't.
I could, and you could have bailed.
And I could have bailed, for
So
sure.
we both made an active
She's
choice to
mature.
continuously
I
make
like
an
that.
active choice to be here,
It's like, yeah.
because,
and it's a
you know,
prioritizing.
it is
that happens.
prioritizing.
All right. Now, that was a great conversation. I know most likely that's just the beginning of the conversation. Maybe I'll find the other half and put it here together. But communication and comprehension should be taught. We don't know how to do it. We don't know how to be considerate to each other. We expect things to still be the same. We don't expect that we're going to age and evolve throughout life. Right? When I was younger, I was a cat and dog person, having sex all the time. Now that I'm older, I have certain things that I want to do, and sex is not really a priority in that sense. That's how it comes in your head. You're realizing that, yo, I'm getting old, I'm going against the clock, I haven't accomplished a lot of things. This is most of us go through in our head, but our perspective and wants and needs changes. Some people can't handle those things, some people can, right? So we have to teach that to our children so they know what to expect, especially if you're going to be in a monogamous relationship, and to know that you are going to be tied down to one partner, and to know that your partner is going to continue to evolve and go through certain things. And we both have to sit down and see what we can do more, where we can going, and we need to relearn the art of sex. Right now, we are not having sex. We are just hugging it, if I can put it that way. So we have to learn. I'm going to find some videos where else we can sit down and regroup, and even find some videos, even have it myself with a panel, and show that sex can be different and more stimulating than just the body. It is, for right now, the things that we do are baseless in the bedroom. So we need to relearn that aspect. Well, this video is a bit too long, so I'm going to cut this here. I have another review to do, so I hope that you guys enjoy this review. Please put your comments in the video, like and subscribe to this video as well, and have a fantastic day. Bye. Hey you, yes you. So thank you so much for watching my video, and I hope that you enjoyed the video, and thank you so much for coming to my page. So I would like for you to subscribe, and I also want you to watch the last video, and I hope that you enjoy everything on my channel. Thank you.